Alright, so today is Thursday, January 17th of 2019, and this is day one of my media log. I chose this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday because I thought it'd be interesting, because Thursday is my busiest day typically, because they have 2 hours of work and they have 2, 3.5, 4.5, about 5.5 hours of class today. Um, And so it's typically my busiest day school-wise. And then Friday, I basically finish with school and work by 2, and then donate plasma. So I get home between 4 and 5 or whatever. And I'm pretty open. And Saturdays, I'm normally pretty open because I don't have any work, because I do my 20 hours during the week and all that. So day one, I mean, it wasn't anything too crazy, I guess you could say. Like in the morning, like I checked Facebook and Instagram, and I checked periodically throughout the day, just like a quick, like some of those were like, some of those times were like 3 minutes, other times were just like 20 seconds, just look, see if anything's been posted or shared, get off, and call it pretty much that. I did spend a lot of time on the news today. I normally try to look at the news from the New York Times and The Hill for both a more left-leaning and right-leaning source. And so I spent 30 minutes earlier in the day just on the New York Times, about 30 minutes or so. I didn't really do The Hill, however, later this afternoon I spent about 90 minutes as a combination of news, because I read some posts from The Atlantic, but I also was doing some research for a law career. And so in total, that period lasted about 90 minutes. I did watch 2 TED Talks today on YouTube, and this evening I spent a little more time on YouTube. However, the evening time was primarily due to I'm in charge of the hymn for my Spanish class tomorrow. And so in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day being on Friday, I was looking up some Spanish versions of Amazing Grace that we could sing, and so I ended up listening to several of those versions. So that's what I was on in the evening. However, I typically would have been on for a little bit before going to bed. I also did listen to music for about an hour and a half today or so. Most of it was just in the morning. That's just because, like, when I wake up, like, I get ready and I play my music so I don't like have to talk to and my roommates early in the morning. So I'm just like, yeah, I just want to focus on what I had to do, and then and just kind of take it easy in the morning time. In the evening times, like I always talk to my roommates and everything, but not in the mornings. I'm just like, yeah, let's just focus on what I have to do. And then I don't know if this technically counts as media, but I also did do some Linda. Some of the Linda program, where Linda is just basically it's nice because it's through BYU, where you can get in and it'll like teach you about like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Adobe, stuff like that. So I was on that for about 35 minutes today as well. I mean, today was the busiest day, so it wasn't anything too extravagant. However, I do feel that my main reasoning, like subconscious reasoning for being on social media, is just to be busy. It's not like I'm bored or anything, because I can always do something whenever I'm bored. However, it's just something quick to, like, not give myself, like, I guess, like an awkward pause in the day. Just like a quick go-to. It's like, so like for the 2 TED Talks I watched today, for example, they were before 2 of my classes, 2 separate ones. The first TED Talk was 20 minutes, the second one was 17 minutes, and what was I about to say? Yeah, and so it was like, so far, because we haven't like gotten the rubrics for some of the bigger assignments, I don't have much homework, so I was like, I don't have much to do, except I do have to do some studying stuff and transcribing some stuff into a Google Doc, but I just didn't feel like that today, so I didn't do that today. So I was like, oh well, what can I do? It's like, oh well, I can watch this. Like I had these up, had these tabs up for a couple days now. I wanted to watch them, so now's a good time to finally get around to doing it. And then like when I was looking at some career stuff for being a lawyer and like some news articles for from the Atlantic. It was like it had a 2-period gap, and it was like pretty much said the same thing. It's like, well, I wanted to, well, so I saw on my personalized feed, I saw that like the Atlantic had a really good posted the article about impeaching Trump. It's like, oh, that sounds interesting. So I went through that, and I get in a bad habit whenever I see something that interests me, like I always open a tab, and so opened up like probably about 30 tabs on the computer with both some news stuff and with I also looked up like some question about being a lawyer. It's like, oh, well, there's a bunch of stuff that's interesting because one of those sites that had different different subtopics you can click on. So I opened up all of those and read through all of those. So, but yeah, it was pretty much just to keep myself busy with my media. It's like all on my phone or on my laptop. Yeah, nothing too crazy for today. Tomorrow and Saturday will be more interesting when they have a lot more free time. So, yep. So this is day 2 of my media log. So it is January the 18th, which is a Friday. As for today, there's not a ton to report, honestly. So what happened is, in total, I spent like 2 to 5 minutes on Instagram and Facebook today. Because I always check in the morning, normally check right before going to bed, and then I'll often check like a couple times during the day just for a couple seconds, like basically do like one scroll down and then that's it. And yeah, pretty much for that, it's just because I like being informed on what's going on in people's lives, even though Facebook's getting increasingly annoying with all the fake news. I see all this. Typically, I've been seeing much of like really far right stuff that's just kind of like, yeah, that's not factually correct. That's kind of racist. That's just ignorant, you know, just stuff like that, which is fun. So I'm getting more and more tired of Facebook. But Instagram's nice just because, like, about people, and I like seeing what people are up to. It's kind of nice. Like, it's also kind of annoying just because of, like, how basic people will get. I'm just like, I don't care that you're walking on campus. You don't have to do the whole boomerang thing with you and your friends, and so that's a little annoying. However, I do like it, like seeing like people's accomplishments and stuff like that. That's interesting to me. It's like, oh, good for you. I'm proud of you. Or they're like, oh, on a trip. It's like, that's cool. That'd be fun to do. So I like stuff like that, but I don't like the, you know, oh my gosh, ask me a question because I'm really bored. I just find that annoying. So I listened to music for about 45 minutes today. Yeah, it was pretty much just in the morning, just when I got up, just because like, it's kind of like my time to like wake up, get ready for the day. Just don't really feel like interacting with anyone yet. So then I did some more training on Lynda for Microsoft Excel, which has been useful. Just because it's something I want to do. I want to get more proficient because really good skill set to have. Then I spent about roughly 90 minutes today just looking at different news stories. Sorry, this is annoying. I have like one hair. Okay, there we go. So yeah, so it was a little slow at work today, and so I spent a lot of time like New York Times, The Atlantic, The Hill, from various different sources. I also have like, I guess it's a good trait, but it's also a bad one as well sometimes. So what'll happen is I like read something and was like, oh, I have this question, let me ask it. And so like type in the question and it's like, oh, that article looks interesting, open, like new tab, and then I'll have like 25 new tabs of stuff that I want to go through. So That's entertaining. Then I spent about an hour watching a movie and being on YouTube at the same time when I was doing plasma. And well, I'm kind of hit or miss with whether I watch the movies there or not. Some of them, it's like, I don't really care, but others like, okay, I'll watch that. But today, I didn't watch it. Reason being was, they got like a new Wi-Fi thing, and I didn't ask for the new Wi-Fi password, so I couldn't do any homework on my computer. It's like, oh, let's just go watch this. Well, what even was the movie? It wasn't anything particular interesting to me. I honestly don't really remember it right now. I was like very in or out because I was also watching stuff on YouTube from sports stuff, TED Talks. I've been getting more into watching TED Talks recently. Like recently, several weeks ago, I like cleaned through my YouTube and just like said that I'm not interested in all these various subjects. Like with a new so one of them was like with the new Smash Bros game that came out. I was like, oh, I wonder what these characters do, because I'll play it with some friends in my apartment complex every now and then, just to see. Well, not so much that. Mostly it was funny stuff from that. Some of the stuff was actually kind of funny. But I just felt like, oh, I'm kind of wasting time. It's not really doing anything for me, so I'm just going to move away from that. So, like, basically, like, unsubscribed from a couple places, and then like subscribe to some more ones, so some sports ones, some fitness pages, not any news because I get that all just on the computer, but yeah, just some much more productive. And so TED Talks have my amount of time watching TED Talks has been on a rise recently. And then that evening, I watched a movie with my girlfriend Fabi. Well, this evening, I watched a movie with my girlfriend Fabi. Actually, no, it wasn't a movie. We finished watching. We continued watching this one TV show. It's so she's from Peru, so it's a Colombian TV show. Fortunately, I have English subtitles because I'm learning Spanish. But I'm definitely not fluent, so I can understand a lot of what's being said, but not all of it. So the subtitles can handy. But it's La Reina del Flow. It's like the Queen of Flow. That's pretty cool. It's well, I'm not going to spend the time getting to the story because it's kind of long. But yeah, so that was pretty much all my media usage for today. Day 3, January 19th, 2020, in the year of our Lord. So, today... So here's what I had set up. So Thursday is my busiest day. It's like, oh, I'll start there. Friday, it's still decently busy, but it's much slower, so it's like, and then Saturday's like normally not that busy at all, and so like, oh well, they're getting like really good like get really good insights as to what I'm like doing with media each day, like how much is just like kill a couple seconds, distract myself for a couple seconds, and get back into it or whatever. Well, that ended up not happening today because I had a rather impromptu Las Vegas trip, so didn't really use much media today. I did, but I didn't. So Facebook and Instagram, I spent like roughly 20 minutes on Facebook and 30 minutes on Instagram throughout the entire day. A lot of it was like with pictures that Fabi and her friends were taking and stuff. I was getting tagged in, just seeing a bunch of stuff like that. That was the majority of my Facebook and Instagram usage today. Then late that evening, right before bed, we all watched some TV. It was Billy Madison was on, so it was like 20 minutes we watched before we went to bed because we got home at 2, and Fabi was like, oh, I fall asleep a little faster after like watching a little bit of TV just because like wiped my body down, so we put it on, and it's like, yeah, we're done. But what we used the most was our phones for music because we had a 5-hour drive, so we had music on the entire time.
yeah. So we had it on for the 5 hours, and then just like driving through the city, amounts to about an hour more. Um, yeah, like pretty much like all today, minus the TV in the end, was through our phones. But then for the music, it was also through the car, which was connected to our phones. I was, I was planning on having a little more, just to like see what like a normal Saturday looks like for me, because with the weekends it's not as much. But seeing spent a lot of it in the car. Oh, I also did. I did look up like random things on my phone, just on Google. Like looked up some stuff about Vegas and looked up like cool buildings and yeah, but it wasn't anything deep. I was expecting a little more today because the weekends are when I'm using media the most. Just because like I'm kind of bored right now. Let's kill a couple minutes. Like I guess like not refocus. That's not the perfect word for it, but kind of just like take a breather for a sec and then get back into what I was doing. Normally, every now and then, I'll just like get in like a chain of like watching videos or something like that, you know. Yeah, so that didn't go according to plan, but it is what it is. So that is the conclusion of my 3-day social media log. So here's to an A.